Hi, welcome to the Crypto Republic. Before we dive in, if you're serious about staying ahead in this once-in-a-lifetime financial shift, make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic. XRP holders, strap in right now, because what I'm about to share with you is nothing short of historic. A big bank CEO has just dropped a bombshell, and if you hold XRP, the message couldn't be clearer. The clock is ticking. This isn't some vague speculation about someday. This isn't another recycled rumor. This is the kind of announcement that shifts the entire financial landscape overnight. Think back to moments in history when the world changed in real time, when the Berlin Wall fell, when the internet went public. These were moments you couldn't ignore. And for XRP holders, this is one of those moments. And here's the kicker. All the signs were already there. The price action, the liquidity spikes, the institutional moves behind the scenes. Now, with this public confirmation, the narrative has shifted from XRP will lead the next phase of global finance to when. And based on what we're seeing, that when is not years away, it's right now. So stick with me to the end of this video, because I'm going to break down why this CEO's statement changes the game, how the charts confirm it, and what historical cycles tell us about XRP's next explosive move. This is not financial advice, but it is financial history in the making. First, let's set the stage. At the time of this recording, XRP is currently holding above $2.75, grinding higher with steady accumulation. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is trading above 105,000. Ethereum is pressing back towards over 4,000. Across the board, the crypto market is testing support levels. But here's the critical point. This is not the wipeout crash. This is not panic. This is the prelude. Historically, true euphoria moves are marked by manic retail inflows, extreme greed readings, and media headlines screaming cryptomania. We are now seeing these support levels tested across the market. What we're seeing is a controlled momentum combined with deep pocket accumulation, the perfect recipe for an explosive move to come. So think back to the 1920 stock boom, when smart money accumulated positions quietly before the roaring public phrase took off. Or even more recently, think about the internet bubble of the late 90s. The institutions and venture capitalists positioned themselves early, while retail was still skeptical. When sentiment finally flipped, the parabolic move became unstoppable. That's exactly where XRP sits today. The big breakout isn't months away. It's right around the corner, with ETFs on the way in October and the expected change in monetary policy on the way. And the statement from this CEO just confirmed what the charts have been whispering. The smart money's positioning before the crowd wakes up to this. Now let's talk about the bombshell itself. A top U.S. banking CEO just confirmed that digital assets like XRP are no longer theoretical experiments. They are becoming the rails of future financial systems. For XRP holders, that's like hearing the conductor announce that your train's leaving the station. Well, why does that matter? Because for years, the missing piece of XRP's puzzle has been mainstream banking confirmation. We knew Ripple was building partnerships. We knew corridors were being tested. But until the old guard of Wall Street openly embraced the shift, skepticism lingered. That skepticism just got shattered. Think of it like the 1800s railroad boom. Railroads have been the technology, they had the routes, and they had the vision. But it wasn't until Wall Street backed them that the expansion went exponential. XRP is today's railroad. It's the infrastructure for value transfer in the digital world. And now that banks are finally signaling we're on board, institutional flow is already confirming it. Just in the past 24 hours, XRP has seen over $6 billion in trading volume. That's not retail. Retail doesn't move billions overnight. That's whales. That's hedge funds. That's banks quietly positioned before ETFs hit the green light. And speaking of ETFs, remember, once Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs were approved in 2024, the precedent was set. Institutions don't stop at two assets. They want exposure across the board. XRP, with its utility, case, and global banking ties, is a natural step. The moment ETFs are approved for XRP, liquidity explodes. That changes its profile from speculative play to a mainstream institutional asset overnight. Now let's dive into these charts. For months, XRP was narrowing tighter and tighter. But as every seasoned trader knows, compression leads to expansion. And right now, XRP is testing support lines, and it's preparing. Analysts are projecting a clean move above $4.40, which would mark a new all-time high. From there, once momentum builds, price discovery takes over. And in crypto, price discovery is where the magic happens. Look at the fear and greed index right now. It's neutral. That's massive. Why? Because neutral sentiment at these levels means runaway ahead is still wide open. Compare this to late 2024 when Bitcoin first touched 100,000. Sentiment spiked to extreme greed instantly. XRP was weak back then. The market was overheated. Today, XRP is stronger, liquidity is higher, institutions are engaged, and sentiment still calm. That tells us we're not even close to where we're going. Think of it like soldiers waiting on the battlefield. The drums are beating, the flags are waving, but the order to charge hasn't been given yet. When that bugle sounds, the flood will be violent, immediate, and overwhelming. That's exactly what XRP's setup looks like right now. Now let's zoom out. The macro picture couldn't be more bullish for risky assets like XRP. Rate cuts are on the table after getting our first rate cut. Inflation is under control, and global liquidity is surging back towards all-time highs. History tells us what happens in these environments. In the 1970s, when the U.S. abandoned the gold standard, markets went parabolic as money searched for a new anchor. 2010s, when quantitative easing flooded the system with liquidity, Bitcoin made its first historic run. And don't forget the geopolitical angle. Around the world, central banks are experimenting with CBDCs, and cross-border efficiency has never been more critical. In that environment, XRP is not just a speculative asset, it's a solution. It's the bridge currency designed for exactly this moment. That's why this CEO statement matters so much. It's not just a personal opinion. It's a signal that the institutions who control trillions are prepared to integrate the very asset retail investors doubted for years. And when Wall Street aligns with utility, the results are explosive. So where does this all lead? Let's talk numbers. Short-term analysts are eyeing $4.40 as the first breakout. Once that falls, the path to $5 and $8 is wide open. Midterm projections go as far as 12, 15, even $20 before this cycle peaks. That would give XRP a near $1 trillion market cap, cementing its place as a cornerstone of global finance. Now, those numbers might sound aggressive, but history tells us to expect the unexpected. In 2017, Bitcoin's run from 1,000 to 20,000 shocked everyone. In 2021, Ethereum surged from $80 to $4,080, defying even the most bullish predictions. Lana went from $1 to $250 in less than a year. Every cycle, one asset becomes a shockwave story. In 2025, all signs point to XRP being that asset. And remember, XRP has always been a late mover. Bitcoin leads, Ethereum follows, and then XRP wakes up and delivers its most violent gains in the shortest period of time. We saw it in 2017 when XRP surged 15 times in weeks. We're seeing the same setup now. Bitcoin had already hit record highs. Ethereum hit record highs. XRP is lagging, and that lag is opportunity. So what does this all mean? It means the setup is historic. The CEO Bombshell confirms the institutional narrative. The charts confirm the technical breakout. The macro confirms liquidity wave. The historical cycles confirm the psychology. Every factor that matters is aligned, and they're all pointing in the same direction. XRP is primed for liftoff. XRP holders, the clock is ticking. This is not the time to get distracted. This is not the time to doubt. This is the moment to recognize the setup for what is, the opportunity of the cycle. Every bull run has a defining asset. In 2017, it was Bitcoin breaking 20,000. In 2021, it was Ethereum and DeFi. In 2025, all signs point to XRP being the headline story. Don't be the one left behind watching this rocket leave without you. Strap in, stay focused, and remember, when history is written, this will be the moment people look back on and say, this is when everything changed. Because make no mistake, the clock is ticking for XRP, and time is almost up. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button. Ring the bell, leave a comment with your thoughts, turn on notifications, and most importantly, subscribe to the Crypto Republic, bringing you the truth about XRP, global banking moves, and the wealth transfer already underway. Don't just watch history happen. Stay informed, stay ahead, stay in the Republic.